Hi, welcome to Far From Eden. Okay, I'm addicted to this channel. I'm addicted to Man Reacts. He puts together such great videos. He curates fantastic videos of these women and the themes. Today's video that we're looking at is about women being basically in denial of the truth about them being independent. You know that whole strong and independent? Yeah, I mean, you guys have been laughing about it since forever. now I know. I didn't know that back when I was younger. I thought you guys were with us. But it's hilarious that you're like, no, we always knew it was so ridiculous. And we look dumb. You know what I think of it as? I think of it like it's a little kid, right? Say, imagine like a 4 or 5 year old boy, and he gets to go to, I don't know, there's a fire truck or whatever making the rounds and basically, doing some fire safety demonstrations and not demonstrations, that'd be dangerous, but talks and stuff. And he gets one of those plastic fireman hats, and they give him that hat, and they're like, oh, you're an honorary, firefighter. And he thinks he is. And he's like, I'm a firefighter. And he's telling everybody he's a firefighter, because he thinks it's true. And I think that must have been and must be how you look at these girl bosses, thinking they're all strong and independent. Like, yes, you are, sweetie. Look at you. Because it's really dumb. It's so dumb. So I can't wait to see what Man Reacts has put together this time, because I know there will be plenty for me to say about these women and what they really want, what they're really afraid of, all that stuff. I'm going to spill the beans on these ladies. Okay, let's check it out.
Modern women ignore the truth about being independent girl bosses.
Anything men can do, we can do better. Reject delusions, embrace gender differences.
Here's the real truth. The hazardous.
All right, sorry. Yes, what she said, and I get it, it's probably TikTok, so she's got to say it in a few words. Big reason I'm not on TikTok. I just don't think you can't shrink it down. After watching that compilation of men do all those high risk and vital to society jobs, I think it requires a bit more than embrace gender differences. It requires oh my God, thank you. I could never do that. Physically, I can't do it. Mentally, I couldn't do it. You do that every day. You're watching a video, you're watching 5 seconds of a clip. This man gets up, all those men gets up and does that job every day. Thankless, dangerous. His body hurts at the end of the day. It hurts at the beginning of the day, And these men, ooh, I'm going to get mad on this one. I did not expect this. I love Man Reacts videos. Men deserve respect and appreciation. We've got to stop belittling them, emasculating them, calling them toxic. That's men. That's what men do. What we just watched I get it. Not all men, of course, not all men have those dangerous jobs, but a lot of them do. A lot of them. And you know what else? Not the women. There's no women doing those things. They're not doing it. Nobody's marching and holding signs saying, oh, you know what? We're underrepresented. I'm shocked. Those places must be discriminating against women because there's no women doing those jobs. So clearly it's because they're being discriminated against. I'm saying that because that is the stupid, basically leftist type of speak that they use for women in, engineering or, medicine, anything like that. They're like, oh, we need more women. We need more women. It's like, why? You don't say you need more women in any of those jobs. I'm such a woman. I don't even know what a lot of those jobs were. I'm sitting here like, is that what an oil rig looks like? I don't even know. That's how privileged I am. Because I'm a woman in America, I couldn't even recognize, I don't even know why that guy was in the water. Was he a search diver? I don't know. That's how ignorant I get to be as a woman. Not only do I not have to do those jobs, I don't even have to know what those jobs are. And think about all the women out there that don't even know that oil rigs exist. Like, you know what I mean? They're just so clueless that they don't even understand or realize that those type of jobs exist. They're just clueless. They think it's just the men they see. What are we, like 2 minutes in? Good Lord, 1 minute in. Whew.
This occupations such as working in a coal mine or construction are excluded from the equality that women fought for. These are peasant jobs, and these strong women prefer their cozy corporate careers.
Yeah. Where do I put it? On the ground. Who needs a man? Not me, baby. Not me.
You see? Oh my God. That's not oil.
By the way, if this part's muted when the video plays, it's because YouTube copyrighted it. So if it does get muted in those sections, I apologize. And just wait for the music of Gwen Stefani singing when she was part of the band No Doubt, Just a Girl. I'm just a girl.
Now oil is coming, you see? Yeah.
Yeah, this is how an I don't need no man turns into a I don't need no car real quick. Ladies, it is okay to not know it all. And just because you have a girlfriend standing there videoing you and agreeing with your decision, it does not mean it is a good decision. I swear, it's always the ones that say that they don't need no man. They're this independent boss lady. They are the ones that get themselves into the most trouble, which is kind of painful to watch. But the truth is, I think that a lot of these women, they end up dating and finding a good man. And guess what? Their opinion about men all of a sudden changes. But you know what's sad is that we don't see that part. They don't post that part. And then this part is left out there for the internet to see. Men see way too much negativity. So it helps ladies that if you've had a positive experience and you are okay with being vocal about how you want and need your man, post it.
Unfortunately, women have fallen into the myth that they may achieve happiness by just earning their own money. However, that is simply untrue. They have the propensity to blow it up rapidly and become caught in the rat race, even with fat paychecks. Finally, feminism is a concern because it tries to differentiate treatment. But there are numerous more reasons why men are happier than women. For women, it has evolved into a new type of servitude, while intelligent men simply decide to give up on dating to concentrate on more worthwhile pursuits.
Who has it harder, men or women?
It's men by a mile. In every
Really, you
arena,
truly believe that?
in every arena of life, they have it harder. I can tomorrow be unemployed, and there will be a man in my life at some point that will say, "Okay, you know what, Salvia, come on, then just let me I'll look after you, whether that's my dad, my brother, or my partner. Somebody will save me. A man can absolutely hate his job, hate his appearance, have terrible relationships with his family, and not one person, no one's coming, no one's saving him. And
Men do know that. Well, I don't know if young men know it or they learn it when they get out into the world. You guys can tell me, educate me on that. At what point did you learn no one's coming to save me? When did you learn that? Because with me, with women, I think the understanding is there will always be someone to save you. And that's just sort of a given. And it's the complete opposite for you guys, which is terrible. It shouldn't be that way at all. It shouldn't be. Either way, it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be like women can make whatever choices they want and someone's going to bail them out. And men can be absolutely wonderful people and no one cares. It's really messed up. And in my opinion, absolutely orchestrated by the people that benefit in us being divided.
And it's heartbreaking, yeah, because one thing I've noticed is, for me personally, if I'm forcing myself out of bed in the morning to go to work, I'll just say, I don't like this job, I'm quitting. And then I think there's men out there who have that experience all day, every day, up until they're 70 years old, and think if they don't go to work, kids don't eat. And there's women that experience that too. But the pressure on a man is completely different.
Overall,
women have much more, at least in the United States. You guys tell me where you are in the world, if it's true also. But women, if they did quit their job, if they hated it, but it's up to them to feed their families, guess what? The state is like, oh, do you have children and you're single? Okay, here you go. Here's help with your rent. Here's food stamps. Here's, all kinds of services. And it's not the same with men. Also, think about how many women's shelters there are. There's a ton of women's shelters. If you're homeless or something like that. If you didn't have someone to bail you out, the state will bail you out if you're a woman. But the state does not bail you out if you're a man. The state seems to want to disenfranchise the men and make them basically have no power in society at all. Just go away, except to do those important jobs that keep things running. I don't know how long the men are going to keep doing that. I really don't. The thing is that it speaks to your character for sure, that you guys keep doing those thankless, horrible, dangerous jobs because you're working and you're providing for yourself, your family, whomever. And you know that, gosh, all those jobs we saw at the beginning, I mean, your fellow workers rely on you to be there to do your thing, and you know society does. How long until the men go, society doesn't care about me? I don't care about society. Society wants to treat me like this? Forget it. I'm done. I'm out. Right now, we've got MGTOW, walking away from relationships, walking away from women, and again, not going for those high-powered, impressive jobs, because if you're not planning to provide for a family and you're not trying to impress a woman, why would you want to keep, why would you want to work, 60, 80 hours a week? Why? Why would you risk your life doing a job? Where's the incentive? Where's the purpose? Where's the meaning for the men? That's what I think about. And I also think about the younger people in America and how they've been raised, and I cannot imagine them doing those jobs. You know, we used to have a society where it was like, yeah, that's in the cities, but in the countryside, you've got, you know, corn-fed, you know, country boys, da, 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 da. And yeah, you used to. But guess what? Now everybody's like the same culture because of social media. Everybody's the same culture. And even still, let's say you still got a corn-fed, you know, Midwestern boy or Southern boy, he's still got to deal with the women. And they're still on Instagram. And they're still on Tinder. And he's like, you know, why? And there's that cynicism coming out. But it's real, it's reality. And it's a very negative place that we are headed and in.
I think women have it tough by nature as well. They're psychologically wired to be emotional and sometimes irrational. This, they cannot help. And with more and more women joining professions where they have to put a stop to their emotions all the time, is only going to hamper their own capacity to be feminine. And that's going to make them undesirable for men, along with—
He's so right. Oh my gosh. He is so right. When we go out into the workforce, just to be out there having a job, I'll say it from my own experience. I remember after about, I have to do math. Hold on. It was like 2011. So I guess I'd been in the business professionally since 97, 96 to 2011. So whatever that is, 14 years, something, 15 years, something like that. And I started like, I don't like this. And I realized how much it changed me and how hardened I felt. And I didn't want to be that, you know, but when you're working and it's not as a mother and a wife, you have to deal with the public. You have to deal with confrontation. You have to deal with a lot of different confrontational things. And it might not seem confrontational to men because, you know, we have different skills and different abilities. But for women, it's like, okay, we have to, you know, be assertive and, you know, tell people no and tell people things they don't want to hear and deal with complaints and deal with issues and deal with, it's just a lot of different type of stress that we are not created for. And it wears on us and it causes us, if we're going to survive in that atmosphere, if we're going to thrive in that atmosphere, we're going to be more masculine. I cannot be feminine and have a successful business because I'm going to be too agreeable. I'm going to be too generous. I'm going to, you know, do things for free that I shouldn't and make decisions based on that rather than the bottom line, rather than making the difficult choices. And that's what I did. You know, that's what I did. So we're not cut out for it. And there are some women that are a little more disagreeable by nature, and so they do a little better in those worlds, but all it does is increase that about them. And how is that better for anybody? It's not. It's really not. It's not better for her. She's going to be more miserable. You just don't see. I literally was watching, sorry, I know literally, but I was watching it before I made this video. I was watching, I haven't finished it yet, but The Culture War with Tim Pool, and Rachel Wilson is on there. And just the things they were talking about was along these lines. And I'm like, wow, a lot of people are talking about either that or I'm in the best echo chamber ever. Probably a little of both. But yeah, so.
With the fact that men really do not want boss babes. They want babes who are theirs. Babes who have feminine qualities. Babes who are fun to be around. Women who are understanding, warm, caring, and comforting. That's the level of peace that men desire in women.
Women don't know what fun to be around means. I think women think it means she's exciting and she's funny and she's sexy and all these things. And that is not what men are talking about. That's not fun for men. That's a different type of like bedroom fun type of stuff, but that's not what he's talking about. Fun means enjoyable, right? Maybe a woman who smiles, maybe a woman who knows how to listen, maybe a woman who doesn't talk about herself all the livelong day, maybe a woman that, you know, doesn't need you to compliment her every 5 seconds. That's what I'm thinking.
Women don't realize the reality. Like, women have a really hard time seeing reality. The reality is, the way society has always worked is men go out every day. They sacrifice spending time with their children. They sacrifice living a peaceful, relaxing life so that they can go out and provide for their family, so their wife can stay home and relax. Women,
stay home and relax? No, I was with her. I was so with her. I was so excited. No, chick, no. I mean, that's what it turned into. You know, the 1950s housewife, it's like soft life. That's not what it's for. You're supposed to be at home doing things. You're not supposed to send your kids off to government schools to be indoctrinated. You're supposed to educate them. You know, you're supposed to take care of them. You're supposed to make healthy meals for your family. You're supposed to keep the place clean. If there's extra time after that, there's gardening. You might say, well, we don't really have land. Well, guess what? You can have an herb garden in your kitchen and grow fresh herbs for your family to eat. It's very healthy, and a lot of medicinal things, you know, can be made from home. Like, there's tons of antibiotic type things that you can make in your own kitchen. You don't need a, homestead for that. So no, it isn't so you can sit home and relax. Nice try. Ugh, that's disgusting. She's disgusting because she knows what men go out and do and sacrifice. And she has the nerve to sit there and say, so women can be home relaxing? Come on now.
Resenting men for wanting to provide for the family. It's truly unbelievable, and women are trying to compete with men, and it's so unnecessary.
Let's face the reality. In general, men are happier than women. Despite the fact that most women claim that all men are the same, especially when they are dissatisfied with their dating or marital experiences, they rarely admit that they are unhappy with themselves. Don't get me wrong, some girls do recognize and fix their errors, but it seems that they make up a very small percentage of the population and act decisively a little too late.
I can find a man really, really, really hot. The second he sends me an Instagram reel, you're done.
Why?
The issue is that delusional women are becoming a vocal minority on social media. That creates a great deal of noise. Consequently, it conveys the impression that they predominate. This does not imply that you ought to think that everything in the world is fair and covered in sunshine and rainbows.
It's the rude awakening that men have needed for thousands of years.
I have 4 big things to say about this, but first of all, I'm not quite sure where this belief came from that if more women divorce their husbands, that these men are just going to believe that it was all their fault and they're going to grow and get better. No, there's never just fault on one side, and men know that. Second of all,
Actually, it's been my experience that after divorce, men blame themselves a lot, because men, in the way that women are allergic to accountability, men can sometimes lean into it too much. Well, if I had done this, if I had fixed this, if I had, maybe then she wouldn't have whatever, because that way he can kind of understand like what happened. Because it doesn't make any sense why you would blow up a marriage after a decade or 2 decades or 3 decades, right? And all of a sudden, act like you're a totally different person. So they start blaming themselves. I'm not enough. I'm not enough of a man. I heard a story the other day about, it was actually from a man that another man said to him in a small business that his wife had just left him, but that it's okay. She'll find a better man because he's just a small-time barber. He had his own barbershop. And I think that's pretty commendable, wouldn't you? His own barbershop, successful barbershop. That's I mean, can't really say that's hard work after seeing what those men were doing, but you know what? He goes to work every day. He does it. He owns a business. That can be difficult. I bet it was difficult in 2020, But he said to a stranger in his barber chair that his wife had just left him, but she would find a better man because he just owns a barbershop. Broke my heart. And I was like, yeah. See it in the comments every day. So I disagree with, I think her name is Emily. You guys are going to be like, no, her name's this. You guys know I have MS brain and I didn't know. Like, I can't write down everything that I think I'm going to forget because it can be like something so simple. So you guys it's just part of it. So, but I know you guys know who she is. And I do too. Just slight amnesia right now.
Women that go through divorce end up losing a lot in the form of lost time with their children and financially through spousal support and child support. So many men just feel victimized by the court system. Thirdly, a lot of these men that get put through the ringer, they eventually build themselves back and they realize that they're a lot happier being single. It's actually a lot more peaceful for them. And fourthly and lastly, a lot of men never want to get married again or in the first place because they hear women like this talking about divorce as if it's some sort of punishment for her not being happy, as if his needs and the family's needs have nothing to do with it. And men are smarter than that.
In the dating market, young men sometimes struggle if they aren't adequately handsome, whereas even mediocre young women can quickly find love. The tables change once the 30 or 35-year-old mark is passed, and those men are now so committed to their goal that they either don't have time for dating or prefer younger women. The cycle is destined to repeat itself indefinitely, but we aren't here to grieve it. Instead, MGTOW men are actually enjoying their life and are happier than the ladies flaunting designer purses, copious amounts of makeup, and a new partner every week.
Find me somewhere in the Bible or in these spiritual scriptures where it says that the government needs to sign off on you getting married.
Exactly.
Find that for me, and then I'll comply. Are you married under God or are you married under the government? Do you want a third person in your relationship, and do you want them to tell you how to split your money if you end up splitting the relationship, or do you want to make that decision on your own? The government wants to get involved in every part of your life, so the more you can keep them out of your life, the better. You don't need a government contract in order to stay loyal to somebody, so take that into consideration.
Why would I get...
Amen, amen, amen. And he clearly got that. It says Man Guide down there. It's so funny. That's the other channel that I watch like the most. And so thank you, Man Reacts, showing a bit of Man Guide. We're all kind of collaborating here. Wow. Yes, exactly what that man said. And that's another thing. I'm compiling my list of like women you need to weed out. And you can weed out any woman that insists on a government marriage. I know you're like, well, that's everyone. I guess there's no women then. Because any woman that insists on a government marriage, you can't trust her. Also, if you're a Christian and she insists on the government marriage, you go, why do you need somebody other than God? And don't give me the Michael Knowles answer of it has to be public. You don't need government for it to be public. Yeah, it has to be public. Your families, the extended family, so that they hold you accountable, not the state. It's ridiculous. I've thought this since I was a little girl. I was 14. I was a bridesmaid in my aunt's wedding, and and we were in England, and it was a very old church that was built in like the 1200, 1400, something like that. And they went up into the like little alcove, and I didn't know what they were doing for the longest time, what they were up there doing. So later I said, Mom, what were they doing? After, like, what were they? She said, oh, they were signing the da, 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 da. And I said, well, what's that? She was explaining to me that they were like basically signing the whatever to make it government legal. I said, what? Because I didn't know till then that marriages were a government thing. I really didn't. I lived 14 years of my life not knowing. I don't know what I thought about judges marrying people. I guess I didn't know. Just like, no, it's church, and it's a minister or a priest, and it's that, and it's your families, and it's the church, and that's what it is. And I never knew it's the state and the government. And I thought to myself, well, I don't want that. Isn't that like having another God? Isn't that like saying that God isn't enough? That you need the government? I still think that. I've always thought that. So, when you start talking to the men, and they're like, yeah, I would never do that government marriage thing. And I'm like, yeah, I wouldn't have done it before, but especially not now, because I wouldn't participate in something that takes advantage of men in the way that it does. I just wouldn't. It's like boycott it. I made a video a long time ago, like back in 2021, I think, about don't do that. Don't get government married. It's stupid. Makes no sense. You might as well, what you might as well do? Make a golden calf and worship it.
Get married. Why? There's no actual reason to get married. It can complicate things. I have some friends that just have a woman they love and they had kids and they just didn't get married. I find them happier than those that get married.
There's something about it. I don't know what it is, but I feel like once you put the marriage title on it, there's just this
like
added pressure that like the relationship doesn't need.
Did you hear about this new food that like completely destroys sex drive in women?
No.
Wedding cake.
It's a scam that's become so normalized that we don't even realize it's a scam anymore.
Marriage. I mean, obviously marriage.
Marriage is a scam.
Marriage.
And I've decided that getting married is a scam.
A scam that's been around so long, we don't realize it's a scam. How about pretending like you don't want to get married because nobody wants to marry you? How about being able to petition for child support when the guy didn't want the kid in the first place? How about divorcing the guy and being able to take all of his assets? How about men having to pay just to take you out on a date? How about feminism? How about affirmative action? How about equal opportunity employment? How about Mother's Day? How about Valentine's Day? Baby showers, monogamy, bachelorette parties.
Okay, you lost me at monogamy, sir. You lost me at monogamy. I'm sorry, monogamy. People say monogamy is not natural. Is that because you're tempted to do other things? Is it because it's difficult? Monogamy is the best. And so, sir, you've lost the other things you said are true.
50-50 partnerships, engagement parties. I mean, the list goes on, but there's nothing more ridiculous than women pretending that marriage doesn't benefit them in every single way.
I love men. Like, I think men are the coolest, but I don't need them to survive.
You do actually need men to survive. And here's why. Everything that you see around you was built and created and maintained by men. Okay. Everything. The infrastructure in this country, in every single country in the world, is built, created, and maintained by good, honest, hardworking men that just want to provide for their family. Everything, the roads you drive on.
Men are inherently straightforward creatures. Therefore, their demands are limited to loyalty and a partnership free of conflict, and they like their freedom to have time with their gang. Women, however, are more complex, and despite their assertions to the contrary, rarely uphold the standard of communication. Men who choose to go their own way have either learned about female nature through experience or by looking at the cases of other men. At the end of the day, however, they are awakening and deciding to follow a different route that has nothing to do with the traditional happy wife, happy life. In fact, the phrase single life has totally taken the role of happy wife. The amazing thing about this is that women are earning more money than ever before, but they're also understanding that having money does not guarantee happiness. Before anyone assumes the worst, let me clarify that this is not a defense of financial instability or poverty. Chase a check, not a chick, as I often say, but you shouldn't devalue women for financial gain.
So I was married for 10 years. I got married young.
Here we go.
21. Already had a baby. He was 8 weeks old at our wedding. I remember feeling like my marriage was temporary from the beginning. And here we are 10 years later going through a divorce. He didn't really start this process. I guess it was more so me, because I was always looking for someone else because I didn't know how to be loved or how to accept love from.
What a bunch of baloney. I didn't know how to be love or accept love. Shut up. Shut up, lady. Like, that's not a thing. Just do your duty. Be responsible. Get married. Stay with that man. Have a bunch of babies, as many as you can. And, you know, raise them and enjoy your family and take care of each other. That's what life is about. That's what's going to matter on your deathbed. Not whatever baloney you're talking about now. I didn't know how to love or be loved. Like, give me a really... This is just... It's like pop psychology baloney. That's all created for women to do this. And she was at her wedding with an 8-week-old baby already, and she was feeling like it was going to be temporary. Well, you know what, sugar pie? You should have told somebody who was going to jerk a knot in your chain and tell you to get over your little selfish self and say, why on earth do you think that you're entitled to that? Why do you think you're standing here at an altar? You're standing there promising to God that you're going to be with this man forever, which I assume is the father of your baby. But 10 years later, your child is 10. You don't care about the child. You don't care about the man. You're just going to throw it all away. Who cares? Because you don't know how to love and be loved. That is a bunch of baloney. And I would say it to your face if you were in front of me. God.
Somebody. And so while he was fighting for me, I was pushing him away. I left the good guy. I left the guy that everybody looks at and is...
Oh my God, not her again. I didn't even recognize her. I remember her. Oh, I left the good guy, right? And then the backlash after she made this video, everybody hated her and she had to make 2 more videos. I already covered this chick. I just didn't recognize her because they all look the same. Oh my God.
It's like, that's a dad. That's a husband. That's how it's supposed to be. He did the dishes.
100% guarantee that this man is much, much better off, homie. Seeing these videos, man, there's more and more of them every single day, man. I'm watching these fucking women out here that, you know, oh, I left a good man. I didn't want to be with him anymore. He was such a good dad, but I want somebody else. Homie, one of the most important decisions you're ever going to make as a man is the woman that you pick and choose to be with. And I know there's so many men out here just not taking this shit seriously enough, like my videos. They're here for a reason, homie. I'm trying to teach you guys because, girl, the person that you choose to be with, homie, she can make or break you, man. You know, this is one life. You spend 10 years with the wrong woman, your life's done. You know, I mean, you have a child with that chick, your life's fucking over.
Somebody said to me the other day, you know, because you guys know, if you've seen more of my videos, you guys know that I'm, you know, very anti-communist and paying attention to the things that are going on in the world and the upcoming possible disasters like dollar crash or world war or whatever. And somebody said to me, you know, so many men are thinking about those type of things. I know, like needing to sort of prepare for, you know, grid down situation or even a big natural disaster, stuff like that. And what they need to be worried about, the greatest threat to them, the most immediate threat to them is the woman sleeping next to them. And I was like, that is profound. He said, yeah, you know, the government, the state, they're a threat. But, and he said, I'd rather deal with the IRS than deal with a false accusation or a divorce. Because there's no limit with the IRS. Yeah, you know, they're difficult, but they'll give you chances, payment plans, whatever, you know. Women, not so much.
And I'm telling you, 18 years of child support, fucking you have to deal with this shit the rest of your life. It's one of the most important decisions you're ever going to make as a man, is the woman that you choose to be with. Take that shit to your head, man. This man's better off. Hopefully he was...
To distract us from our goal, society has been successful in having us worship a variety of idols, including women. Because of this, many men waste time pursuing women and return to their goals too late. Fortunately, males can happily enjoy the results of their labor due to their discipline and basic lifestyle, whereas women spend too much money on things they don't truly need. Congratulations, women. You are finally making more money than ever. Are you happy now? Or there's still something else that you want but don't know what it is yet? Studies and common sense have shown that women are emotional and more prone than men to feel strong emotions, both good and bad, since emotions are what drives most human behavior. When fighting with a partner, they find it difficult to communicate logical concepts, which results in a never-ending cycle where the male employs logic to establish his point and the woman assumes she is correct. Regardless, situations like this are causing men to conclude that dating is a hassle rather than a fun activity. There are too many tests and not enough returns on investment. Surprisingly, men are happier than ever living the bachelor lifestyle, whereas modern women are becoming unhappier by the day. There are rumors that feminism has failed. Well, there is empirical evidence for it, not just rumors.
Yep.
Let me elaborate. Feminism sought to advance women's rights to things like employment, bank accounts, and other privileges of society that they were previously deprived of. The issue in the modern world is that this agenda has evolved into one of the most oppressive philosophies on the globe. Women who don't fully subscribe to feminism at this time in history are labeled as indoctrinated outsiders and meek. Naturally, if you're a male who disagrees with their absurd notions, you're an oppressor for both being a man and disagreeing with the cause. Overall, women today, particularly in Western countries, have the same, if not more, rights as males. But they feel that is insufficient and demand more. They are becoming slaves to their corporate occupations, and frequently to consumerism and male approval, thanks to the so-called freedom. The majority of boss girls are just cogs in the machine, despite the fact that some women are rising to positions of authority. And let's face it, quotas are a major factor in the rise of women in a variety of institutions, including businesses, governments, and security services. The sole purpose of the girl boss movement is to gain influence and membership inside the sisterhood. The reality is that they are actually miserable. Thanks for watching Man Reacts. Show us your love and support by liking this video, sharing it with your friends.
It will be, the link will be in the description. Whew. He brings up so much stuff that I don't realize I'm going to talk about until he brings it up. And then shares all these women saying the things they're going to say. Good Lord. And they don't realize how bad they look. They really don't. And several of them almost were good. Like talking about, you know, anything they can do, I can do better. And then she showed that. And then she said, you know, embrace differences. It's like, freaking, no, that's not embracing differences. You have to appreciate men. It's not just embracing. That's not differences. Those men working, doing all those difficult things, those aren't differences. God, way to, you know, it's emasculating. Way to like downplay all that sacrifice that the men are doing into differences. I mean, I know I should celebrate that women are saying anything kind of good, but sometimes it's like, it frustrates me when they almost get it, but then they don't. Like the other woman saying that men sacrifice and work and all this so women can be home and relax. What? No, that is so wrong. You know why? Because it's like if you know that much, you should know better. You're taking advantage of them. You should see their sacrifice. You should see their hard work and say, oh my God, I have to get my stuff together. Let me do more. You know, let me work harder. Let me make sure you've got your favorite meal ready when you come home. Let me pack your lunch. Let me put a note in it. That should be motivating to you to be a good woman. I don't understand. So frustrating. So yeah, to answer that commenter from yesterday, I am cynical. I'm cynical. Have you seen the rates of men's self-deletion? And how many women file for divorce and absolutely destroy their children? Or have, get pregnant out of wedlock? I'm cynical. Yeah. Wow. Shake it off. Shake it off, because we have to protect our peace, right? We have to make sure that we don't stay in the red pill rage mentality. And I have to be careful of that. I get angry. I get angry at these women because I talk to you guys. And there's so many great men out there. Wonderful men who don't get noticed by women at all or get kicked around by women. And it's just, but he's right. The women aren't happy. They're not happy because they don't know what's good for them and they don't know what they want. They say a lot of things about what they want, but they don't really know what they want. If they knew what they want, they would do it and they'd be happy, but they're not. So anyway, you guys, protect your peace. Guard it. It is so important. Feed your souls. Somebody got a motorcycle, so maybe that's feeding his soul. And feed your souls. You have to refuel and rejuvenate yourselves. And it's work to do it because society doesn't want you to. I want you to. I appreciate you. I love you. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Take care.